Welcome to 21st Sports. In a wrap up week 2, we had the Philadelphia Eagles at the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. In this game, it started off low scoring. In the first quarter, just had a field goal by Philadelphia. Caleb Sturgis hit a 25-yarder to make it 3-0. Then in the second quarter, the Bears got on the scoreboard courtesy of a 1-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Langford. That gave the Bears their first and what would end up being their only lead of this game, as they were up 7-3 early in the second. But then just before the 2-minute warning, Caleb Sturgis hit a 29-yard field goal, his second of the game, and the Eagles ended up getting the ball back, and just before halftime, they took back the lead 9-7 with Caleb Sturgis' third field goal of the game, this one from 53 yards out. So the 53-yarder made it 9-7, and the Eagles just didn't look back from there. As they came out of halftime, they scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Their first touchdown, Ryan Matthews, a 3-yard touchdown run, and it was the second effort by Ryan Matthews that enabled him to get into the end zone and make it 16-7 after the extra point. And Trey Burton caught a 2-yard touchdown from Carson Wentz just before the end of the third to make it 22-7. Eagles extending their lead over the Bears. Then in the fourth, Ryan Matthews scored his second touchdown of the game, a 1-yard touchdown run, and that was 26 straight points for the Eagles after having fallen behind 7-3 early in the second quarter. So 26 straight points before the Bears would get back on the scoreboard, and they would eventually do that courtesy of special teams. Eddie Royal with a 65-yard punt return. Some nice special teams right there on that play, and that gave the Bears 14 points, but they were still down by 15, with the final score ended up being 29-14. So the Eagles are now 2-0. A nice start for the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz, not really big numbers, but he didn't make any mistakes. The 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He was 21 for 34, 190 passing yards. Jay Cutler did make a mistake. He actually got stripped on a sack, and then he threw an interception late in the third, and he would end up leaving the game, and Brian Hoyer would come in to take over. Hoyer actually did better percentage-wise. His Cutler was 12 of 17 for 157 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Hoyer 9 for 12 for 78 yards. And that's kind of Cutler's MO. I mean, I don't know, maybe he was injured before he threw the interception or on the interception, but it seems that when they're losing and he makes a mistake, all of a sudden he's injured and he's got to go to the locker room. A little convenient there. But not a lot of rushing in this game from either team, as Darren Sproles was the leading rusher with 12 carries for 40 yards. Jeremy Langford had 11 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown for the Bears. And then with the receivers, Alshon Jeffrey, 5 receptions for 96 yards, led all receivers in the game. And for the Eagles, Jordan Matthews had 6 receptions for 71 yards. Of course, Trey Burton, 5 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. We look at the defense for Philadelphia. Graham had a sack. Jenkins had a sack as well. And Bradham with the interception, which would end up seeing Cutler leave the game. Young had a sack for the Bears as well as a chew. The Eagles had 21 first downs versus 16 for the Bears. On third down, both teams were struggling. The Eagles just 3 of 15, just 20%. The Bears 4 of 10, just 40%. But on fourth down, the Eagles 3 for 3, 100%. And the Bears were 0 for 1. Let me look at the penalties in this game. Not a lot of penalties. 5 against the Eagles for 34 yards. 7 against the Bears for 60 yards. And when we look in the red zone, the Eagles were struggling early in the red zone. 3 for 6. But once they started getting into the end zone, they didn't stop as they kept scoring. But they were 50% in the red zone. The Bears just 1 for 3, just 33%. And the time of possession was dominated by Philadelphia. 36 minutes, 5 seconds to 23 minutes and 55 seconds for Chicago. So the Eagles coming up with a big victory, keeping pace there in a tough NFC East, as they're right there in the thick of things. And the Bears falling to 0-2. Once again, basement dwellers in the NFC North. And it looks like for the Bears, the season's already over. It's only 2 games in and it's already over. But hey, there's always next year for the Bears. And maybe some miracle is going to happen, but I don't see it. But Philadelphia, things are looking good. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Which plays and performances stuck out to you? Thank you very much for listening. It's greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend and enjoyed all the sports.